Howdy folks, it's Dr. Z returning for VEDA 2014 Day 20. And happy Easter to everybody, as well as a Christos Anesti to my Greek compadres, however many of you are watching. So after yesterday's announcement that I had left Walgreens, I wanted to talk about a few things of what you should expect in your career as far as your future goes. What you should expect when it comes to your future, when it comes to your career. And it's more than just determining which track you want to follow. Community versus hospital versus alternative. It's going to be the smaller details. Do you want to be able to travel? Do you want to be able to take whatever hours come your way? These are things that you at least toy around with at the beginning, but don't quite realize until you get right into the middle of the matter. Especially when it comes to travel. When you go through a residency, you more than likely will have to travel to whatever program you're matched up with. When you go into the community and you're floating, you're going to be traveling a lot. And I'm talking about from my experience. You're traveled, whether you're going through a metropolitan area or a rural area, you're going to put some miles on your car. You're going to have to find what you're most comfortable with. What are your travel limits? And you have to be forthright in being able to stand up for yourself and say, these are places I cannot go. Because if you allow it once, then people push it a little bit further. And if you keep allowing it, they'll keep sending you farther and farther away. It can be hard on someone, especially when you're realizing that if I do not take these hours, then I do not get paid as much. Same thing for even going into a residency to begin with. You may have all these places lined up on where you want to go, and somehow by the stroke of luck, you get matched with a program that's the farthest away than you would ever imagine. To pick up your life and start anew, it can be hard on a person. On top of it, with the different hours. Do you want a normal 9-to-5 job? Do you want an earlier person 8 to 4 or a closing shift on a daily basis? Especially when you get staffed. You have to work these out with your manager as well as your supervisor. You're kind of setting yourself into a rhythm with these different pharmacies. And if you're telling them that you're open to anything, they will give you everything. You just have to be able to, again, assert yourself and say, this is what I'm looking for. Probably not in all cases, but if it has to come to it, it's a take it or leave it decision that you have to make. Another thing to look out for is generally competition. It's not so much one for, say, hospitals, but it may even compare then as well, especially when you're starting out as a residency. You have to compete against many of the different applicants that are applying for specific programs that you're looking at, as well as looking at competition of different hospitals in these areas. Do you want to stay with the hospital that you signed on with after you get into residency because you know it's going to be a stable job or that you have a secure job, as opposed to putting yourself back on the market in especially an uncertain economy? It can be hard on a person. It's also going to be hard for someone in the community as well. Before it was you were offered a job right out of graduation and then you stuck with that person for the rest of your life. Now, it's not so much because you can jump from place to place, but even then, that jumping can be hard. It's less of a certain field than it was, say, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You have to be very careful. On one hand, you have people like my dad who says that you have to keep the job that you have now until you have something secure that you can jump to. You have other people, like my friends, who are willing to say, take the chance. If you don't like it, why continue what you're doing? And both people have, to me, equal footing on these sorts of situations. So you have to be very mindful of what you want to do. And this applies more than pharmacy. It applies to a lot of people my age and a little bit older and a little bit younger who are getting into this economy that is very hard on us. We may be the most sought after generation, the workforce at this moment, but we have to put up a lot of offense in order to get the job and maintain the job. So these are things that I have at least considered with my jump from Walgreens, and I at least wanted to pass it along. It may be something you already know. It may not have been, but I at least wanted to share that out. In the comments below, tell me about any other advice you'd give when you're trying to consider a career in your field, in pharmacy and whatever. Otherwise, like and share my videos, subscribe to my channel. Tomorrow is the VEDA 21 viewer special. Let me know about questions that you have, personal, professional, whatever it may be. Overall, I've been Dr. Z, signing out, and you have a great night.